Hello and welcome to this updated version of the web server tutorial under macOS Sierra. As of last time, this will guide you through the whole process of installing a full web server with everything needed like Apache, phpMySQL and phpMyAdmin. Of course, we will not use any ready-to-use software like XAMPP, but keep everything clean and bare. So the differences to the original video are rather small. I made some minor improvements to keep out a bunch of errors as I was notified in the comment section. But as I saw, many people already tried a bunch of other tutorials and then had major problems because the stuff they did in the other videos would stand in the way of my tutorial. So try to undo everything you did to have a good start. Of course, the best way to start is to have a fresh installed Mac. But I know that's not always possible. But before I roll out the intro, there were many people asking stuff like how to make my website now available to the public. Well, this guide is not for that. You could make that happen, but that's way more complicated. If you want to make a public website, you have to go and buy some space on a public web server. A local web server is meant to develop your website and then upload it on the public web server. And before you watch this video, I would strongly recommend to watch these videos here where I try to very briefly explain things that may be needed to know before even starting to install a web server, like how opening a website actually works or what a web server actually does. But if you are sure that you already know those things, stay here and let's get started. Okay, so for this guide itself, there will be a short written version in the description with the exact timestamp so you can reread everything. And even more important, every needed download link like for MySQL or phpMyAdmin will also be in the description. So let's finally begin. The nice thing with Macs is that Apache and PHP are already pre-installed, so we just need to fully activate them. For that, open a terminal window and use the command sudo apachectl start followed by your password. This command will start the Apache web server. Now you can open your browser and type in localhost as your address and you will get to your private web server where the It Works site will get opened. Now open a Finder window and choose in the top bar under Go Computer. Now go into OS X, then Library, and then Web Server. And now here in the Documents folder you will find all the files that are hosted by your web server. The It Works site is also here in form of the index.html.an file. So if you copy paste a file into here, you will be able to open it through the local host site. Now it's time to activate PHP, so in your terminal type in sudo nano /etc/apache2/httpd.conf and your password. In here scroll all the way down until you get to the load module section and search for the line saying load module php5_module. Once you found it, delete the hashtag in front of the line and save the file with the Ctrl-O keys and close it with Ctrl-X. What we've just done is configuring the Apache server to activate and use the PHP module, thus basically just activating PHP. And now restart your web server with the command sudo apachectl restart. Okay, now we want to make sure that the web server will always use PHP files first, in the case you have two different index files. For that, use again the command sudo nano /etc/apache2/httpd.conf. And scroll again down all the way until you get here into the directory index section, starting with EF module. Here add behind the directory index and just before index.html the word index.php. This will make sure that if you open up the URL localhost, your website will first search for the index.php and then for the index.html file. Now again, restart your Apache with the command sudo apachectl restart. So one of the main problems with my last tutorial was that the Documents folder is by default restricted for normal users, and many people had no idea how to make it modifiable, so we do that now together. In your Finder, go one folder back, right-click your Documents folder and choose Get Info. Now expand the Sharing and Permissions section and click on the small log in the lower right corner and confirm with your password. Now you can change the privilege of everyone to read and write and close the window. This will now give you permissions to add and delete files and folders within the Documents folder. You can test it out by deleting the image which are already in there, because they are never used anyway. So now we can test our PHP by typing into the terminal sudo nano /library /web server /documents /index.php and typing in this line of code. And then save everything with Ctrl O and close with Ctrl X. Now we can see that we added a PHP file into the Documents folder called index.php with a PHP code which will then show us the information about our PHP version. Of course, you can now delete the old php.html file cause it's no longer needed. If you now refresh your localhost site, it will display the PHP site with, like I already said, the PHP information. Please keep in mind that your browser may have cached the old index file and still show that one. In that case, just delete your browser history and clear the cache and refresh everything. Okay, so now Apache and PHP are running, so coming to MySQL. To do so, open a new tab in your browser and go to the download site of MySQL. Link in the description. In here, agree to the cookie stuff and scroll down to the download section. You can choose now between a bunch of different versions, but take the last one called DMG Archive and click on download. Now you'll get redirected to a new site where you can log in, but you can also skip everything by clicking on no thanks, just start my download in the bottom. After the download finished, you can open the file and click a couple of times on continue, then install and confirm everything with your password. Now you have to wait until the installation is finished and this window appears, but do not close the window. In this window here you will get the first administrator password for MySQL. So copy paste the password at the third line and just open your text edit program and paste it in there. It's very important to keep the password for the rest of the tutorial, so double check to make sure. Once you have that, go into your terminal and type in mkdir /var/mysql. And then sudo ln-s/tmp/mysql.sock and then /var/mysql/mysql.sock, just like I did. This will create a short link for MySQL which is needed for phpMyAdmin. Now you can open your system preferences and you'll find the new entry for MySQL at the bottom of the window. In here you can manually start and stop the MySQL server by pressing the Start MySQL Server button and adjust if the server will automatically start with your Mac or not. Anyway, as of the first time, start it here with the Start button and close the window again. Now to test the MySQL server, go back into the terminal and type cd/usr/local/mysql/bin followed by /mysql-u root -p. Now the terminal will ask for your MySQL password, so copy paste the password which we got from the installation with Command C and Command V and then hit enter. Okay, now we are in MySQL, so we know that the server works perfectly. But to make future use easier, we'll quickly change the administrator password with alter user root at localhost identified by password. The word password at the end has to be replaced with the password that you want to use in the future, so adjust it to your needs. And for the whole command, keep in mind that the quotation marks are needed, so make it easy for yourself and just copy paste everything from the description below. And once that's also done, we can exit the program with the command exit and start installing phpMyAdmin. For that, start by going on the phpMyAdmin website, link in the description, and click on download. Once it's downloaded, drag the zip file into your Documents folder and unzip it. After that, you can of course delete the zip file. To make it easier, rename the folder which got extracted to simply phpMyAdmin. That way you can later on access it with exactly that name. Now go back to your terminal and type in cd/library/webserver/documents to get back to your web server folder. And then cd phpMyAdmin to get into the phpMyAdmin folder. Now we need to create a config folder, so type in sudo mkdir config and give it some rights with sudo chmod o+x config. Now in your browser, go to localhost /phpMyAdmin/setup. Here we have to click on New Server and then go into the Authentication tab, where we need to type in the MySQL administrator password, which we changed earlier. In my case, it was the word password, so type it into the second input box and click on Apply. After that, we can click on the Download button at the end of the website and drag the downloaded configuration file into the phpMyAdmin folder. And now we can go to localhost /phpMyAdmin and log in with the username root and the password which we've chosen. So, and now we have basically a fully operational web server with Apache, PHP, MySQL and phpMyAdmin up and running and ready for development. So, and this was then everything for this tutorial. I hope you found what you were looking for and wish you all the best for your future projects. Here I'll link you some other video which may be interesting for you, and maybe if you want, subscribe, leave a like and your opinion or your question about this topic in the comment section. I thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.